The pin block is fitted and secured, and the entire soundboard and inner rim assembly is trimmed to an exacting fit with the corresponding outer rim. Once again, custom-designed equipment operated under the guidance of the most skilled craftsmen brings 21st century technique to processes that were once done manually with far less precision. A fine piano requires a beautiful exterior. The process of preparing the rim for the eventual application of a lustrous finish begins here as the outer rim is sanded. Hand sanding is done in a unique way at Kawai. Rather than force the craftsman to move around all sides of a stationary rim, state-of-the-art technology brings the rim to the craftsman's hands. This eases the strain on the sanding specialist and allows him to concentrate solely on the excellence of his work. The sanded case is now ready for a stain coat, which is done by hand for all natural wood finishes. The case then moves on to the polyester room, where the final finishing coat is applied. Modern robotics are used for much of the polyester spraying. This method assures a smooth, even coat and protects the craftsman from the possible hazards of spraying liquid material. After multiple coats are applied, the case must be cured for several days in the curing room, where the temperature and humidity are computer controlled. An intelligent lift places each case in an assigned location and retrieves it automatically several days later when its prescribed curing period has elapsed. Once the finish is hardened, other components are added. The key bed, which provides support for the action assembly, is secured to the frame. The iron plate is then fastened in place. Created using a vacuum process in which molten iron is poured into a mold of vacuum-packed dry sand, the V-Pro iron plate is strong enough to withstand the 20 tons of tension that will be placed upon it by the application of strings. Kawai stringing specialists are highly skilled craftsmen who install the collection of over 200 strings with amazing skill and precision. Observing this process, one can clearly see the passion and personal devotion invested in each instrument. With strings in place, the piano produces its first sounds, as the operation known as chipping is performed. This name, also referred to as chip tuning, came from the tradition of using a chip of wood to pluck the strings during the initial tuning of the piano. By this point, the inner rim, outer rim, and soundboard assemblies have all merged into a unified whole. While that entire process has been occurring, craftsmen in another part of the facility have been meticulously assembling the dynamic control center of the piano, the action. The action of a grand piano is composed of over 8,000 individual parts. Accordingly, it is one of the most intricate and challenging assemblies in the musical instrument world. But despite its complexity, the role of the action can be described quite simply as a tool of expressive communication, like the painter's brush or the conductor's baton. Its purpose is to help the player translate artistic intentions into harmonious reality. The challenge for the builder is to create a durable mechanism that can accurately and consistently respond to an infinite range of nuance, from the softest pianissimos to the boldest fortissimos. Ultimately, the success of the action is measured not only by the effectiveness of its operation, but by the expressive artistry that flows from it. Kawai's ultra-responsive action is a marvel of creative ingenuity. It is regarded by many as the industry's most advanced action, with every component intelligently engineered to provide maximum precision, reliability, and expression. For parts that are especially susceptible to breakage and the effects of humidity, Kawai pioneered the use of a modern composite called ABS styrene. For over 3 decades, ABS has proven to be the ideal material for selected action parts that require superior strength and stability. In scientific tests, it has been shown to be stronger and more durable than wood, and far less prone to shrinking, swelling, and warpage due to moisture and humidity. Because of these unique properties, ABS styrene is one of the key reasons why a Kawai piano will maintain stable touch and tone over time better than any other piano. The rest of the action is equally well conceived. Premium wool felt for hammers, the finest woods for hammer moldings and shanks, a dual-beam aluminum action rail for strength, and a serrated rail surface and exclusive insuliner for long-term stability and precision at the point where hammer meets string. These creative innovations have helped the Kawai ultra-responsive action earn its distinction as the most advanced action in the piano industry. To the player, that distinction simply means exquisite responsiveness that will endure for years to come. Once the action is fully assembled, it must undergo a myriad of stringent tests and adjustments to ensure precision and reliability. First, the action is put through the demanding torture test, in which the keyboard is struck over 200,000 times. This rigorous process allows components to settle into place and helps the craftsman identify even the smallest of operational concerns that may appear. Next, each key is painstakingly adjusted to the proper key depth. A laser scanner assists in assuring accuracy to within 1/100th of a millimeter. Before the action is placed into the piano, it receives still more careful adjustments and a thorough review by a skilled specialist. After all this careful attention, one might think that the action is finally a completed work, but in truth, the process has only begun. Now, the fully assembled action is merged with the rest of the piano. In the steps that follow, the heart of the Kawai craftsman reaches its zenith. For the piano now undergoes one of the most extensive series of checks and rechecks in the piano industry, known at Ruyo as the Circle of Refinement. Every aspect is examined and adjusted again and again. The piano receives a second tuning, and then yet another series of fine adjustments occur. It is a painstaking process, but one that we know will one day bear fruit at the hands of the player. Finally, after it has been tested and retested literally thousands of times, the piano reaches its last proving ground, a soundproof room where it must pass the scrutiny of one of our most experienced craftsmen. Once he is fully satisfied, he adds his blessing in the form of the piano's final tuning, regulation, and voicing. It is here that the tone and touch of a Kawai grand piano finds completion. It is now ready to fulfill its destiny as the voice of the musician's soul. At Kawai, the making of a world-class instrument is much more than a manufacturing process. It is a labor of love, a commitment of mind, body, and spirit that flows from each craftsman's innate sense of duty. A duty to create instruments worthy of the company honor and the Kawai family name. As our instruments grace the stages of the world's renowned concert halls, excite audiences and pianists at the most prestigious international piano competitions, and help to advance musical excellence in universities, colleges, school classrooms, studios, and homes throughout the world, we take immense pride in the work of our hands. For in the music itself, our passion finds its voice, our vision finds fulfillment, our dream becomes reality. This is the Kawai journey. The music, your music, is our destination.